Hey guys, this is the Actiri Magic Channel, and I'm Steve, your host, the Actiri. Today we're going to be talking about, is Korvold still busted in 2021? And let's talk about him. Korvold is a 5-drop, 4/4 flying with a red, green, and black, and 2 generic. Whenever Korvold Fae-Cursed King enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Glad it doesn't say creature, but it says permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a 1/1 counter on Korvold and draw a card. So we can really abuse this guy. And the best card in the world to abuse Korvold is a Dockside Extortionist. Dockside Extortionist is a 2-drop, 1 red, 1 generic, 1/2. When Dockside Extortionist enters the battlefield, you create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. Easily abusable, because there's always going to be a bunch of artifacts and enchantments on our opponent's side of the battlefield. So let's take advantage of that. So every time we sacrifice a treasure token, Korvold is going to get a 1/1 counter, and we're going to draw a card. So we can kind of go infinite. We can do a lot of busted things with just Korvold and Dockside Extortionist. But if we want to just go infinite in general and have infinite mana, let's go ahead and pair Dockside Extortionist up with Temur Sabertooth. So this combo, it requires our opponents have at least 5 artifacts and enchantments among them. Not hard to do at all. And so Dockside Extortionist enters the battlefield, creates treasure tokens equal to the number of artifacts and enchantments, right? So Temur Sabertooth is a 4-drop, 2 green, 2 generic, 4/3. Pay a green and pay a generic. You may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, Temur Sabertooth gains indestructible until end of turn. We don't really care about the indestructible. What we want to do is bounce Dockside Extortionist. So for 2 mana, we're going to return Dockside Extortionist to our hand. For another 2 mana, we're going to cast Dockside Extortionist again. And then whenever Dockside Extortionist comes to the battlefield, we're going to get a bunch of treasure tokens. Well, if our opponents at least have 5, this is an infinite loop, because we can keep bouncing Dockside Extortionist and playing Dockside Extortionist and gaining 1 mana every time we cast Dockside Extortionist. Well, if we have these infinite tokens that we're sacrificing, Korvold is just becoming an infinite. However, you got to be careful here. You may whenever you sack a permanent, you put a 1/1 counter and draw a card. It's not a May ability. You have to draw that card. So just be aware of that. You could deck yourself with this combo. Anyway, getting back to Temur Sabertooth, so we can spend our mana. So say we want to just play Dockside Extortionist and Temur Sabertooth to not deck ourselves. We can spend our mana and just get a bunch of treasure tokens. And then we can also do other things with Korvold. So Ashnod's Altar is a 3-drop, sack a creature, add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. Pitiless Plunderer also gives us treasure tokens, so it's kind of giving us more mana. It's giving us colored mana. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So whenever we sack a creature to Ashnod's Altar, we're going to generate, in essence, 3 mana, 2 colorless and 1 of any color. So what we can do with that is over and over again cast Reassembling Skeletons. So we're going to sack Reassembling Skeleton and get a treasure token and 2 colorless. Well, we're going to spend that colorless, that colored mana to recast Reassembling Skeleton. What this is going to do for us is it's going to generate infinite colorless mana, and it's also going to give us infinite death triggers. And so we're going to pair that up with something like Zulaport Cutthroat. It's a 2-drop, 1/1. Whenever a creature, or whenever Zulaport Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. You're going to mill them. You're going to infinitely drain them. So there's no way of getting around it. And it doesn't target them. It's just a good mill. So we're going to just melt their face. Name that movie. Another one we've got here in Korvold, very cool card, is Food Chain and Squee the Immortal. It's a 1 green, 2 colorless. Remove a creature you control from the game. Add X mana of any color to your mana pool, where X is the remove creature's converted mana cost +1. This mana may be spent only to play creature spells. So Squee the Immortal, whenever we remove him from the game, is going to generate us 4 mana every time we do that. Now, we're going to recast Squee the Immortal from exile because Squee can be cast from exile. So we're going to generate infinite mana with Food Chain and Squee the Immortal. Now, what can we do with that mana? Because we don't want to just cast Squee over and over again. We can do something like Impact Tremors, but we can also do is just take our infinite mana and spend it on something really, really, really big. Like, for instance, Walking Ballista. So we get our infinite mana and we spend it on an infinite size, or a 200,000 Walking Ballista, and we shoot our opponents for 200,000 points of damage. Or we can make a 200,000 Mistcutter Hydra with haste for protection from blue. Why not? And it can't be countered anyway. So really, really cool combos. We can get a lot of mana. There's no way that this goes out of fashion. Like, these cards are all just good cards. So I know that some really cool, fun, busted stuff happens in Commander, but this Commander is still powerful. And there's a reason why he's number 2 on EDH Rec. Another one we can do is Grumgully and Murderous Redcap. Grumgully is a 3-drop, 3/3, 1 green, red, and generic. Each other non-human creature you control in its battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Murderous Redcap is a 4-drop, 2/2, and it's got a hybrid black-red, 2 generic. When Murderous Redcap enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Well, with Grumgully in play, he's going to enter and shoot somebody for 3. Well, he has Persist. Whenever this creature dies, if it had no 1/1 counters on it, return to battlefield under its control with a 1/1 counter on it. Well, when it returns to the battlefield with that negative 1/1 counter, Grumgully is going to put a positive 1/1 counter on it, and that's going to negate each other. So he's going to basically just be a regular 2/2 whenever he returns with that Persist trigger with Grumgully in play. So we can sacrifice Murderous Redcap infinitely and shoot people infinitely. And that's where we get things like Skirk Prospector and Viscera Seer to go ahead and go infinite. Now, yep, Murderous Redcap is a goblin, so it says sacrifice a goblin, add a red mana. And then Viscera Seer is going to sack any creature. We're going to scry infinitely if we so choose. So either of these will work. Both of them slot into our deck. They're both useful on their own, I believe. I think Viscera Seer is more useful, so if you just wanted to run Viscera Seer and maybe have some tutor effects to go get parts of your combo, I think that would be pretty wise. But anyway, that's it, and we get infinite damage out of that combo. Really, really great stuff. Anyway, this is a quick down and dirty on the most busted things we can do with Korvold. Yes, he's still relevant. Yes, he's really cool. I love this guy. And the rest of the deck that he goes in is really, really kicking, and I'm going to be sharing that with you guys in another video. All right, guys, this is the Exterior Magic channel. Have a good day. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and please stay tuned for more content.